live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ayotunde Balogun.
Hello and welcome tonight. President Bola Tinubu declares security emergency, directs recruitment of additional military and police personnel. Senate passes resolution classifying kidnapping as a terrorist act, seeking maximum death penalty on offenders. Southern Governors Forum reiterate call for state police and the regional joint security outfits to address rising security challenges. And at least 36 people killed as major fire sweeps through apartment blocks in Hong Kong's Tai Po district.
On business news, NNPCL and Hairs Energies achieved major milestone as OML-17 joint venture increases domestic gas supply by 135 million standard cubic feet per day.
On sports news tonight, defending champions Bayelsa Queens kick off title defense with a thrilling 3-2 win over former champions Edo Queens in the NWFL Premiership.
And from the nation's capital, President Bola Tinubu appoints non-career ambassadors to the United States, United Kingdom and France.
Amid rising attacks and abductions by gunmen and suspected terrorists across the country, President Bola Tinubu has declared a nationwide security emergency. The president stated that the worsening security situation prompted him to authorize additional recruitment into the armed forces and the police. Our State House correspondent, Emperor Simon, tells us more. Apologies for that slight glitch in that report. We'll have it later. Meanwhile, the Senate has passed a resolution classifying kidnapping as an act of terrorism, stipulating that an amendment to the Terrorism Act be made to impose the maximum penalty of death. The resolution was made during plenary where national security was largely discussed. Our National Assembly correspondent Gloria Umezuki reports.
The subject of insecurity clearly dominated the minds of lawmakers as they reconvened for plenary following several days of a security summit. In a motion raised by Senator Lola Ashiru on the maze of kidnappings, particularly in 3 states, including Niger and Benue, lawmakers embarked on what turned out to be a heated debate.
While Nigerians are celebrating the fact that no life was lost on the side of those who were kept in captivity and who regained their freedom, Nigerians have argued, show us that a bullet was shot to regain this freedom.
The governor of Kebbi said that somebody ordered troops out and people were kidnapped. Till today, nobody in Nigeria knows what happened. Who withdrew the troops to put all these children in jeopardy? Then you make an example of him. That is how a country is run.
The debate became even more robust.
I am troubled by the conflicting judgment by various high court judges, where the law says act of terrorism, if convicted, shall attract death penalty. No judge has a right to pronounce less than that.
I think it is time for Nigeria to allow us to be carrying arms. The CAC needs to look at its military architectural design around him.
Let me make my view.
However, an uproar occurred when Senator Seriake Dixon, in his argument, made accusations.
Our democracy, right before our eyes, is being rubbished. Our country, right before our eyes, is losing prestige and respect, and is endangered by the day. And I want to briefly object to the way and manner some of the comments from the other side have been on this very serious issue. I'm coming. Let me make my views, please.
You will learn, but which other side? There is
No. Please, let's not talk.
Refusing to back down, his microphone is then cut off.
Be guided from the chair. The reality is that this affects all of us. So there's nothing like this side or that side. The same community that those children were returned, they've gone there to go and kidnap 11 people, including a pregnant woman. So we must realize that we are under attack. Those in support that the death of General Ba and the circumstances surrounding his death be added to the committee for investigation. Say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Other resolutions include the dissolution of standing committees on Air Force and National Security and Intelligence with immediate effect and the reconstitution of new ones within 1 week. The Senate to undertake diplomatic engagements with the United States to address the escalating security challenges. The Senate leadership to meet with President Tinubu to brief him on the resolutions, and the Senate to amend the Terrorism Prevention Act, classifying kidnapping as a terrorist offense, punishable by the death penalty.
In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has forwarded 3 non-career ambassadorial nominees representing Ogun, Jigawa and Oyo states to the Senate for confirmation. The Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs is expected to review the nominations and report back to the chamber within 1 week. From the National Assembly, Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
All right, earlier we did tell you about President Bola Tinubu has declared a nationwide security emergency. And the president stated that the worsening situation, security situation that is, prompted him to authorize additional recruitment into the armed forces and, of course, the police. Our State House correspondent, Emperor Samin, now reports.
In the last 1 week, Nigeria has witnessed a series of security threats. From Kebbi State, where 25 schoolgirls were abducted from Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School in Marga, to the killing and abduction of worshippers from Christ Apostolic Church, Eruku in Ekiti local government area of Kwara State, and the abduction of over 300 school children from a Catholic school in Niger State, among other attacks, the country has seen a surge in security. Although some of the abductees have been rescued following days of security operations closely monitored by President Bola Tinubu, the president has gone further to find a more lasting solution as it declares a national security emergency on Wednesday. The president directs the police to recruit an additional 20,000 officers to bring the total to 50,000, with authorization for the force to use various National Youth Service Corps camps as training depots. He also says the police officers being withdrawn from very important persons in the country should undergo crash training to debrief them and deliver more efficient police services when deployed to security-challenged areas of the country. President Tinubu also directs the Department of State Services to immediately deploy all the forest guards already trained to flush out the terrorists and bandits lurking in forests across the country. It says the agency also has his directive to recruit more men to man the forests. His message reads in part, quote, "My fellow Nigerians, this is a national emergency, and we're responding by deploying more boots on the ground, especially in security-challenged areas. The times require all hands on deck. As Nigerians, we should all get involved in securing our nation." End of quote. President Tinubu commends the courage and sacrifice of the leadership and rank and file of the armed forces, charging them to remain resolute, restore peace across all theaters of operation, and to uphold the highest standards of discipline and integrity. According to him, quote, "There must be no compromise, no collusion, and no negligence. The Nigerian people are counting on you, and this administration will provide the support you need to succeed." End of quote. The president further called on the National Assembly to begin reviewing the laws to allow states that require state police to establish them. President Tinubu sympathized with families who lost their loved ones in recent attacks across the country and paid tribute to soldiers who made the ultimate sacrifice. From the presidential villa, Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.
And still on security matters, former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mr. Idris Wase, is calling for a review of President Bola Tinubu's order to withdraw police protection from VIPs. Mr. Wase made this statement during the resumption of debate on national security in the House of Representatives. He emphasized that the categorization of VIPs needs to be clearly defined, noting that bandits are increasingly threatening to abduct politicians. Our National Assembly correspondent Terry Kumi reports.
The debate on national security in the House of Representatives enters its second day, with the Deputy Speaker presiding. He urges members to suggest ways to address the security concerns once and for all.
What we as Parliament is looking for is not lamentation, but solution. What we are looking for is not what I've been seeing, what I've been noticed, what I've been observed. What we are now looking for is solution.
The ensuing debate cuts across regions and tribes as lawmakers agree that the country is facing a serious threat and urgent action must be taken.
The profiling of communities and making available some armament to serve as a first line of defense is now inevitable.
Some people were shouting Nigeria is a sovereign nation. We don't need America. We don't need anyone. But Nigeria went to Congo. Nigeria went to Liberia through ECOMOG to help them out. We need help this time.
The president cannot be everywhere. He cannot be in Sokoto, he cannot be in Zamfara, he cannot be in Ogun State. He cannot even be in Lagos State, his own state. We need our governors to do more. We need to think about intelligent-driven actions and full implementation, not rhetorics, Mr. Speaker.
Have we been able to find out what is the current payment status of what is expected for these gentlemen, men and women that are out there famous?
One thing we are lacking in is in following through these very beautiful propositions, theories, laws, and whatever that we have. There is every need for it.
A former Deputy Speaker of the House paints a dangerous picture of the country's security architecture.
There were moments in time when, in the process of recruitment, Boko Haram were found in the list. Other criminals, armed robbers, gangs were found in the list of Nigerian Army and police. The former SGF from Nigeria once was in an airport and he saw somebody that he knew as an armed robber wearing Nigerian uniform. He ordered for his arrest immediately. These are part of the problem that we're being faced with.
He also takes a swipe at the president's directive to withdraw policemen from VIPs across the country.
I want to appeal that order, there's need to review that order. It's a good order, but the categorization has to be spelled out.
The handling of banditry and terrorism by governments is called to question.
Every president since 1999 till today has demonstrated an embarrassing lack of courage to deal with an issue that has festered. We are appeasing terrorists. We are placating them. They are engaged in negotiation. Mr. Speaker, when you see how generals are being killed, military men are being killed, I will plead for the military to look inwards in case there are sabotage.
In the last two plenary sessions debating insecurity across the country, members of the House of Representatives have expressed worry about the lack of implementation of resolutions reached from previous national security summits organized by the Parliament. They insist that as representatives of their people, their recommendations must be implemented by the executive arm of government, whose responsibility it is to carry out these resolutions. From the National Assembly, Terry Ikumi, Channels Television News.
In part two, after the break, President Bola Tinubu appoints non-Korea ambassadors to the United States, United Kingdom, and France. Please stay with us. reminders, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu declares security emergency, directs recruitment of additional military and police personnel. Senate passes resolution classifying kidnapping as a terrorist act, seeking maximum death penalty on offenders. Southern Governors Forum reiterate call for state police and a regional joint security outfit to address rising security challenges. And at least 36 people killed as major fire sweeps through apartment blocks in Hong Kong's Tai Po district. The Southern Governors Forum is advocating for a joint security outfit as part of efforts to enhance security in the region. The governors expressed their position at a meeting held earlier today in Iperu, Ogun State. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, who also serves as the forum's chairman, emphasized in his opening address the need for state police and the regional security architecture to improve intelligence gathering.
Southern Nigeria now stands at a pivotal moment, marked by rising threats to security, economic pressures, and the urgent need for coordinated leadership. Recent abductions in schools, religious centers, and rural communities across the country demonstrate that no region is isolated from organized criminality or violent extremism. Distinguished colleagues, as we deliberate on the security architecture of Southern Nigeria, it is important to state clearly that the creation of state police remains a non-negotiable component of our collective demand for true federalism and effective grassroots security. Our region has consistently advocated for a policing system that is closer to the people, more responsive to local realities, and better equipped to address the rapidly evolving threats that we face. The recent incidents across the country reinforce this urgency. A unified southern position on state police will not only enhance intelligence gathering and early warning capabilities, but also strengthen our ability to secure schools, farmlands, border communities, and critical infrastructure across our states.
In Kebbi State, Governor Nasir Idris is appealing to parents and the recently rescued Maga schoolgirls not to let the incident deter them from continuing their education. He assured that the government will do its utmost to ensure that schools across the state remain safe. The governor made the appeal while handing the girls over to their parents.
It was a historic day for the parents of the rescued schoolgirls and the Kebbi State government, as Governor Nasir Idris formally hands over the children to their families. The event, described as unprecedented, was attended by 3 former governors of the state, parents of the rescued girls, and other dignitaries. The girls have already gone through medical examination and preliminary psychosocial support. The State Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education gives an update on the health condition of the girls.
As I said, words cannot express our happiness throughout this particular encounter with the kidnappers, and to see that these girls have been rescued and they are healthy. We have taken them to the hospital. They have been diagnosed without much serious health issues.
While handing over the schoolgirls to their parents, Governor Idris thanked the President, the Minister of State for Defense, and security agencies for their relentless effort in ensuring the safe return of the students. He also appreciated the parents for their prayers and resilience, assuring them that adequate security measures have been put in place by the state government to guarantee the safety of schools across the state.
We have received our daughters that were been abducted in one of our secondary schools in Mada. Yesterday, the Minister of the State Defense, Dr. Bello Matoale, and the theater commander, in the night has brought this our daughter and handed this our daughter to us. And the government, through the Honorable Commission of basic education. Have done the needful to ensure that the girls were well accommodated, and they feed them and they give them whatever is their needs.
Some of the parents could not hide their joy as they reunite with their children.
We appreciate the effort of the governor at ensuring that our children are released in time.
The wife of the Kebbi State governor also interacted with the girls, assuring them of their safety in schools. The wife of the Kebbi State governor also interacted with the girls, assuring them of their safety in schools. She also presented gifts to them.
Despite rising security concerns across the country, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike is reassuring residents of the nation's capital not to panic. He stated that all necessary measures are being taken to protect lives and property in the Federal Capital Territory.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration never one day gave an instruction for schools to be shut down. I've been in contact with the Commissioner of Police and the Director of State Security Services. And there has never been such a decision. Those who masterminded this will not go free. That is to tarnish the image of the government. The President and Commander-in-Chief resides in Abuja. Virtually all the heads of security agencies are in Abuja. The diplomatic corps is in Abuja. And you go and issue out such instruction. They are merely trying to panic the public when there's no need. I am assured and I do know that our security agencies are doing everything they can so that to keep the peaceful nature of Abuja. So nobody should be worried. The public should not panic. Where the security agencies are equal to the tax.
Right, for more from the nation's capital now, let's head to Millicent Walker, who's standing by to give us the latest from our Abuja studios. Over to you, Millicent.
Many thanks, Ayatunde. Well, we begin over here with President Bola Tinubu, who has nominated non-career ambassadors for 3 countries, the United States, the United Kingdom and France. The nominees are Ambassador Ayodele Oke, retired Colonel Lateef Kayode-Areh, and Ambassador Amin Mohamed Dalhatu. According to a post by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, the postings will be finalized following a Senate screening. Ambassador Dalhatu previously served as Nigeria's ambassador to South Korea under the administration of late President Buhari. Ambassador Ayodele Oke, an alumnus of Emory University in Atlanta, is a former Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, NIA, and previously served as Nigeria's ambassador to the Secretariat of the Commonwealth of Nations in London. Retired Colonel Lateef Kayode-Areh served as Director General of the State Security Service, SSS, from 1999 to 2007, was National Security Advisor in 2010, and held a position in the Directorate of Military Intelligence. He graduated with first-class honors in psychology from the University of Ibadan in 1980. To other stories, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohamed Pate, has described the commissioning of NISA Medical Group's Tomai robotic surgery platform as a giant leap for Nigeria's healthcare system. Speaking at the event in Abuja, the minister called the platform, established in partnership with Robomed Global, a breakthrough that positions Nigeria at the forefront of advanced technology-driven surgery in Africa. Our correspondent Victoria Longjohn has more.
The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohamed Pate, is flanked by the Health Minister of Barbados, Dr. Jerome Walcott, at the NISA Medical Center for the unveiling of the Tomai robotic surgery platform.
For the benefit of all Nigerians and the benefit of mankind.
The robotic surgery platform is expected to usher in a new era of precision surgery, enabling more accurate procedures, reflecting the growing capacity within Nigeria's health sector, both public and private.
I think what you have done with this
maybe a small step for NISA Medical Group, given that you've been at it for 30 years or so, since 1996. But I must say that it's a giant step for Nigeria, paraphrasing what someone said about going to the moon. Because you're bringing a platform for robotic surgery in Nigeria, in our sub-region in this continent. It's a giant step. It's really an honor to be able to see what is in place, the Tumai robotic surgery platform. It's really inspiring to see that it's here in Abuja at your facility. Well done to you. And in line with the President's own vision for transformation of our health sector, I think we're getting there. We're making progress. And I just encourage all of us to start to look inwards and see how we can encourage what we are doing here, how we can train ourselves.
The health minister for the Barbados, who is on an official visit to Nigeria, highlighted the importance of shared learning between both nations.
I've been very impressed with the NISA Medical Hospital and the launch of the commissioning of their robot, the first robot. This is in Nigeria, right? The first robot. As the minister said, as Minister Pate said, it takes medicine to a new realm. Years ago, it was anecdotal. Then we had evidence-based medicine. Now we're moving to precision-based precision medicine, where we could identify specific issues, specific ailments, specific diseases, and deal with them more efficiently and effectively.
Professor Pate encouraged Nigerians to take pride in these homegrown achievements, affirming that strengthening the health system remains a collective responsibility driven by Nigerian expertise and leadership. Victoria Longchon, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, NNPC and Airs Energies achieve major milestones as OML 17 joint venture increases domestic gas supply by 135 million standard cubic feet per day. That's coming up in business news. Please join us again. You're watching the news at 10, come to you live from our Abuja studios. Let's head to Nigeria's non-oil sector economy, where the federal government is spearheading efforts to attract investment in research and manufacturing. The National Coordinator for the Strategy Implementation Task Office for Presidential Executive Order 5, Mr. Ibiam Ogu-Ejiofor, made the call while representing the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation at the Special Industrial Clusters Investment Summit in Abuja.
Officials of the Ministry of Science and Technology, the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, and the Bank of Industry are attending the Special Industrial Clusters Investment Program in Abuja. The objective is to scale up investment in Nigeria's non-oil sector in Nigeria's quest to be among the top global economies by 2035.
The idea is also apply the local content development initiative that has been in the global space, be the best. We need to bring it to Nigeria for to domesticate it and for to ensure that Nigeria non-oil sector is competing globally. For to ensure we drive the high impact jobs for our people across the country, and for to ensure by 2035 Nigeria is among 10 top economies.
The Minister of Science, Innovation and Technology is represented by the National Coordinator for the Strategy Implementation Task Office for the Presidential Executive Order 5, an initiative aimed at promoting domestic professionals in science, engineering and technology contracts. He highlights the critical role of investing in manufacturing.
Nigeria's journey to become a top global economy will not be achieved by exporting raw materials. It will be achieved by adding value to them, manufacturing at home, and trading globally.
The Special Industrial Clusters Investment Program aims to create clusters of non-oil sector industries and mobilize investment for the sector.
This conversation is timely
as Nigeria focuses on expanding local content, strengthening industrial clusters, and mobilizing significant investment into the non-oil economy on the path to $1 trillion GDP.
According to the organizers, the summit is designed to build investment and foster global alliances to unleash local content development beyond oil, which they believe aligns with the federal government's target of creating a $1 trillion economy.
And that's a wrap from Abuja. It's back to Ayotunde in Lagos.
Many thanks, Millicent. Caverton Marine, a subsidiary of the Caverton Offshore Support Group, has launched the electric omnibus, Nigeria's first electric ferry. The company says the initiative will provide sustainable water transportation in Lagos using outboard systems. Now, the omnibus was developed in partnership with the Lagos State Government. And Caverton's Executive Vice Chairman and CEO, Mr. Olabode Makonjola, stated that the ferry will make water transportation more affordable in the nation's commercial nerve center.
Lagos State, and by extension Nigeria, is set to experience a new era in water transportation as Caverton Marine, a subsidiary of the Caverton Offshore Support Group, unveils the electric omnibus, Nigeria's first electric ferry.
This is what you must check.
Present to grace this historic occasion are the Executive Vice Chairman and CEO of Caverton Offshore Support Group, Mr. Olabode Makonjola, and White Cat Chiefs from the Palace of the Oba of Lagos.
I'm going to hand over to Kumi, who is going to run.
Addressing the gathering, the EVC and CEO of the company discloses some of the technical components of the engine being unveiled.
Each outboard engine, it's a 300 horsepower engine. Each outboard engine is powered by 125 kilowatt hour batteries. So there are two. So there are two batteries for both engines. There's also a coolant system that actually maintains the heat and cools down the heat by sucking water from the creek or from the lagoon to maintain temperature.
The company explains that it designed and built the ferries, which uses twin wave 300 electric outboards from Explomar and offers clean and powerful propulsion. The Commissioner for Transport, Lagos State, Mr. Oluwaseun Oshiemi, commends Caverton Offshore Support Group for investing in the mass transportation arm of its marine services.
Well, the whole essence of having a company like this is to be able to make the whole process very sustainable. You mentioned capital flight, which obviously is also important. If we can, of course, inject the funds back into our system, and beyond just the money, it also gives opportunity to be able to work on the maintenance.
Caverton and its partner believe that the launch of the omnibus offers benefits to both commuters and the environment.
For this kind of technology, because now the technology is very new and cut edge, so we need our partner have this power to kick out the market in Nigeria.
According to Caverton, this project marks a significant step towards cleaner and more efficient marine solutions in Africa, with the goal of modernizing Lagos waterways with a plan to extend the service to other coastal states in Nigeria.
Business News is up next with Dominic Iwiwo.
Thank you, Ayotunde. The NNPC and Hairs Energy's joint venture says it has achieved the boost to Nigeria's energy security with the addition of 135 million standard cubic feet per day to the domestic gas supply. According to a statement released today by the head corporate communications at Hairs Energy's Chidima Ugbo-Diako, this milestone, which is the first of its kind in the country, was recorded through the innovative, rigorous recompletion of a key non-associated gas well in OML 17. The remarkable achievement has already drawn high-level recognition, particularly from the Special Advisor to the President on Energy, Mrs. Oluvejain, who has sent a congratulatory message. Now, the Board of Directors of the African Development Bank Group has approved a $500 million loan to Nigeria to finance the second phase of the Economic Governance and Energy Transition Support Program. In a statement released today, the AFDB says the loan aims to help the government tackle energy poverty, climate change, and also meet the Sustainable Development Goal by 2030 and net zero by 2060. The AFDB had on August the 1st approved a $500 million loan to Nigeria to finance the first phase of the Energy Transition Program. And now the 2025 Africa Investment Forum has started in Rabat, the capital of Morocco. This year's theme of Bridging the Gap, mobilizing private capital to unlock Africa's full potential, with a focus on the required estimated $130 to $170 billion annually for infrastructure. Our business editor, John Mekwa, reports.
The Africa Investment Forum has been described as a multi-partner investment platform for Africans to garner capital, especially from the private sector, and work with it. So, though it was launched in 2018 and has already capitalized about $22 billion in investment, the organizers, chief of which is the African Development Bank Group, say that there's still a whole lot of ground to cover, and that's why for 2025, they're looking further into how they can get private investment and private capital for the development of the continent. Strategies and steps for bolder and more deliberate use of Africa's capital take center stage as the market days officially open.
The Africa Investment Forum is a platform where the four cardinal points converge toward a single objective: action. As we gather in the boardrooms with projects covering transport and energy among other sectors, let us remember that this is about much more than transactions. It is about investment for our people, for our economic prosperity, and for our shared future.
And for all of the 3 days of the market days, topics such as accelerating private investment through conducive enabling environment, investing in resilient energy solutions, unlocking the path to scalable private investment in Africa will be on the table. John Mekwa reporting for Channels Television News.
Indigenous technology company and member of the Zynox Group, Task Systems, has emerged as the winner of the prestigious Microsoft Best Partner Award 2025 in California, United States, and outperforming over 4,000 corporates from more than 100 countries. At Microsoft Ignites 2025, the CEO of Task Systems, Mrs. Gozi Ojogu, was presented with the award celebrating Nigeria innovation and the support of the federal government and corporate partners. The recognition is seen as a rebranding of Nigeria on the global stage at a time when the country's international reputation is facing some challenges. Mrs. Ojogun was appointed CEO of the 38-year-old Task Systems on April 1st, 2023 by Leo Stan Eke, a Forbes-recognized African tech icon and serial entrepreneur with a mandate to grow the company into Africa's leading technology firm. And back home, the domestic bourse could not sustain the previous loan gain recorded after 6 consecutive days at the close of today's trading session. Laddie Williams has the details.
Hello, welcome to the market close. Well, Nigeria's stock market slipped into the red zone at today's close as the NGX Ultra Index that fell by about 49 basis points to settle at 143,068. Trimming year-to-date gains now. That's below 40%. Smack on at 39%. I would see volume and value of trades. That was up about 32 and 90%, meaning a good amount of investors participated in the sell-off today. If you look at the sectors that we track, investors book profits across, key sectors, pulling the market lower, after a green close, yesterday. And we see for the market mover today, we're seeing Boa Cement there leading the pack there with a drop about 4%, closing at 160 naira per share. We also see some tier 1 banks also, that couldn't counter the losses that we saw today. Even we saw some of the Fugas actually gain. So Trading day right after the last MPC decision of 2025 and its profit-taking.
Thank you, Laddie. Let's see some snapshots of major global stock markets closing figures for Wednesday. And that's it on business news. Back to Ayotunde for the rest of the news at 10.
Many thanks, Dominic. The Guinea-Bissau army has arrested President Umaru Embalo inside the presidential palace. An army officer appeared on state television confirming the development and announcing that state institutions have been suspended. Also arrested are the Chief of Staff General Biagé Natan and Deputy Chief of Staff General Mamadou Traoré and the Interior Minister Boche Kande. Now, the president says no force was applied in the coup d'etat. Here's Sami Puzi with more international news in Around the World in 5 from our London studio.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. At least 4 people have been killed in a huge fire that has engulfed multiple high-rise buildings in Hong Kong's Tai Po district. At least 3 more are injured, 2 of whom are in a critical condition, according to a government statement. Footage shows flames and thick clouds of grey smoke billowing from the towers of the Wang Fuk Court housing complex on Wednesday afternoon. The cause of the fire is unknown, but the flames are believed to have spread quickly through bamboo scaffolding that covered the outside of the tower blocks. The blaze broke out at 2:51 local time. As night fell, pictures showed that the fire was still burning, with red flames covering at least 6 tower blocks. US President Donald Trump has defended Special Envoy Steve Witkoff as doing the standard thing after a leaked recording appeared to show him advising a Russian official on how to appeal to the president. Trump told reporters that he had not heard the audio, but that Witkoff was doing what a dealmaker does, to sell the peace plan to both Russia and Ukraine. The leaked call from last month emerged days after a 28-point peace plan deal presented by the US largely reflected Russian positions on its full-scale war in Ukraine. Witkoff has visited Moscow several times this year and will meet Russian President Vladimir Putin again next week. He has not yet held talks in Kyiv.
I haven't heard it, no, but that's a standard thing, because he's got to sell this to Ukraine, he's got to sell Ukraine to Russia. That's what a deal maker does. You got to say, look, they want this, you got to convince them with this. That's a very standard form of negotiation. I haven't heard it, but I heard it was standard negotiation.
A mother in New Zealand who killed her 2 children and hid their bodies in suitcases has been sentenced to life in prison. Hak Yung Lee, who was found guilty in September of the shocking murders of 8-year-old Yuna Jo and 6-year-old Mina Jo, has to spend at least 17 years behind bars before she is eligible for parole. Lee argued she was insane at the time of the killings in 2018, which happened soon after her husband died. The High Court judge said Lee's mental health played a part in the case, but that her actions were calculated. The children's remains were discovered only in 2022 by a couple who won an auction for the contents of an abandoned storage unit in Auckland. Brazil's Supreme Court has ordered that right-wing former President Jair Bolsonaro begin serving his prison sentence of 27 years and 3 months for plotting a coup after he lost the election. Justice Alexandre de Moraes had ruled that the case had reached its final judgment and that no further appeals were possible. Bolsonaro was found guilty of leading a conspiracy aimed at keeping him in power after he lost the 2022 election to left-wing rival Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva.
They're taking my parents!
The former wife of a member of Dubai's ruling family has expressed concern that she could be arrested as her husband has lodged a criminal complaint with police, accusing her of kidnapping their 3 young daughters. Since their divorce in 2019, Zainab Javadi has been involved in a bitter custody battle with her ex-husband, Sheikh Saeed bin Maktoum bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who is the nephew of the ruler of Dubai. It has come to a head in recent weeks as the children have changed hands between the parents several times, with each accusing the other of kidnapping them. An iconic Pope-mobile belonging to the late Pope Francis has been turned into a mobile medical clinic for children in the war-torn Gaza Strip. Aid workers say it has a practical purpose and also serves as a symbol of goodwill. Staffed by medics, the Pope-mobile is intended for performing triage and is equipped for examination, diagnosis and treatment, including vaccines, stitches and tests for infections. The clinic should be able to perform up to 200 consultations a day. The children will sit in the pontiff's chair while being attended to. And an Ohio dump truck has caused chaos after it hit a highway sign and caused it to collapse. The vehicle was traveling along a highway with the dramatic collision occurring in Columbus. Footage released by the Ohio Department of Transportation showed the truck stopping shortly after it struck the overhead signage. No injuries have been reported in relation to the incident. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.
Welcome to Sports News. Defending champions Bayelsa Queens opened their title defense in the Nigeria Women Football League Premiership with a thrilling 3-2 victory over former champions Edo Queens in Yenagoa. In other Group A result, Adamawa Queens were 2-0 winners over Paysetter Queens. Heartland Queens urged Ekiti Queens 2-1, while Niger Rattles and Ibom Angels settled for a goalless draw. In Group B, FC Robo Queens produced one of the standout performances on March Day 1, securing a hard-fought 1-0 away victory over Sunshine Queens in Akure. Another 5-goal thriller was witnessed in Lagos as Dana's ladies defeated Oshun Babes 3-2. Nasarawa Amazons won at home 2-1 against Delta Queens. The game between Confluence and Abia Angels ended 2-2, while newly promoted side Ahode Yenem Queens held Remo Stars ladies to a goalless draw. International Olympic Committee Chief Kirsty Coventry has urged nations to come together in the 2026 Winter Games as the torch relay set off from ancient Olympia in Greece. Addressing guests during the torch ceremony at the Olympia Archaeological Museum, as the first woman to head the Olympic movement, Atieful Coventry stressed the power of sports to unite. A British man has changed his plea and admitted deliberately plowing his car into crowds at the Liverpool Football Club's Premier League victory parade in May. Paul Doyle had initially denied the 31 charges, including 4 causing grievous bodily harm with intent and dangerous driving during the May 26 Liverpool's city centre incident, which injured dozens, including infants and children. But on the second day of his trial, Dole sobbed in the dock as he entered his guilty pleas. He will be sentenced over 2 days, starting on December 15. That's it on sports. It's back to you, Ayo.
And the main news again. President Bola Tinubu today declared a national security emergency. The president also directed the recruitment of additional military and police personnel. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayo Tunde Balogun. You have a good night.